Hi, it's Gary. Welcome to today's video. Today, Inked Pens October of 2023. The title tells you it all. In this video, we'll look at the pens that I've got inked up at the moment, excluding the pens that are in my everyday carry. So that's my 6 everyday carry pens, and they're part of my pens in use. All these pens, they've been sat in my pen case, some of them for a few weeks, so it'd be interesting which ones write, which ones don't. I'm going to fetch them out in price order, starting with the Platinum Preppy. Very light, very flimsy feeling pen. Still a nice pen though, still writes really well. This is my sacrificial black pen, I know I keep saying this. Plastic pen, got a fairly small nib there, and that's a 05, which is more or less a medium nib. So we've got here a Platinum Preppy. So it's got the 05 nib. The ink is by Lamy. It's part of the Crystal series. And it's Obsidian. The cost for this pen, $8 Aussie. I know I say this every time, but I think it's important to put the cost because then people know what sort of investment there is in the pen. The second pen, we're jumping now to China. That was a Japanese pen. This is the Majohn or the Moonman M600S. Nice colouring on this. Cartridge converter pen. So there's a cartridge there. The Preppy, you can put a cartridge converter in there. I just eyedropper it. Nice pen, nice comfortable pen to use. The nib on this isn't the nib that came with it. I've replaced it with a Kaigelu long blade knife. So we've got here a Majohn M600S. And it's a Kaigelu long blade. The ink is by Colorverse. And it's called Albert. It's not Able, it's Albert. I wonder if Albert is able. Cost of this pen, that was $25 Aussie. So we're taking a bit of a jump in price here. Love the colour of this ink. I love where we've got this light shading coming through. And although it's not easy to see on this little sample, get some nice line variation with this nib. We're staying with Majohn for the next one. And this is the Majohn M400. Bright colours. This is like a summertime colours, isn't it? We're in spring here in Australia, so I think this one might be nice to use. Not so much in December because that's going to be ink vent, but January, which is height of summer here, I think this will be a nice pen for that. Again, we've got a cartridge converter in here. Metal fitting, so not eyedroppable. We've got here then a Majohn M400. And this, it comes with a medium nib. The ink by Diamine. And it's Aqua Lagoon. The price for this pen was $34 Aussie. I do like this ink in this pen. I think it's a really nice match for that bit of colour there in the middle. So that's the Majohn M400. Sticking with China, different manufacturer there. This is by Wingsung. This is the Wingsung 699. This is a heavily inspired pen from the Pilot Custom 823. One of the big differences, this particular version, it's a piston filler. Not sure if you can see the piston mechanism in there, but the piston mechanism takes up roughly half of that body. You can get this as a vacuum filler as well. I did have a vacuum filler one. I don't know why. It just broke. It just did not work for me. So I got the piston filling version instead. Very nice pen to write with though. Steel nib. There we go. So this is a Wingsung 699. Again, it's a medium nib. Notice it's thinner than what we see on that M400. The ink in here is by Ancient Song, which is also a Chinese maker. And it's called Seaview. The price for this pen, $35 Aussie. Another nice pen. Not a cheap pen, but certainly not an expensive pen. A nice starter pen, I think, as well. We're going to now jump to Germany, to a pen most people have. This is a Lamy Safari. This one's in the charcoal. This is a pen I love to hate. I don't know what it is about it. I just don't get on with it. It's really weird. Yes, it's got this funny section. It's not the section. I actually don't mind that section. There's just something about the pen which puts me off. Cartridge converter pen. You have to buy the converter separately, so be aware of that. That was about another $10 when I bought that. This one's got a broad nib. It's got a black nib to match the charcoal there in the actual body. So we've got here a Lamy. But that surprised you. Green ink in a charcoal pen. So Lamy Safari, broad nibbed. The ink in here is by Robert Oster. And it's light green. The cost for this pen, when I got it, was 37 Aussie dollars. Nice line. It writes really nice. I just don't know what it is. Maybe the pen's just too light. It could be that. There's just something about it which puts me off. So that's the Lamy Safari. So the next pen, back to Majohn. Here we've got a Majohn P136. Beautiful blue colour in this. This one's a piston filling pen. It's also got this little ink window. Hopefully you can see there. It's not a full solid window. It's like a series of smaller windows. So you get an idea of the ink level. On here we've got this nice silver coloured nib. It's a steel nib. Nice pen in the hand though. So we've got here a Majohn P136. This comes with a fine nib. The ink in here, it's by J. Herbin, and it's Eclat de Saphir. The price of this pen, 37 Aussie dollars. I like this. It's really nice to write with, and it's a nice fine line that it comes from it. Up next, we're staying with Majohn. We're going to a very differently shaped pen. Let me fetch these in next to each other. You can see this one I brought in, the M1000, a lot bigger than that P136. Wooden pen, very nicely finished, feels really nice to the touch. I like the silver trims. We've got here as well, that little pearly type colour there. This one is a cartridge converter. There we go. Nice chunky pen, feels very nice in the hand. Steel nib. There we go with that nib. So we've got here a Majohn M1000. This, it's got a medium nib. The ink by Organic Studios. I'm going to have to try and write really neat because this is very long. It's Sistine. Make sure I spell this right. Sistine, hopefully brown shimmer. Price wise, this pen is 54 Aussie dollars. Nice pen, nice looking pen, feels nice in the hand, nice weight to it, nice heft. And although we don't see much here, you might be able to catch that. Hopefully that comes over on the camera. There is some nice shimmer in that ink. Now this is where I realised I messed up on my pricing, so we're going to go slightly out here of order. Up next we've got a Jinhao 100. This is in this gorgeous like white salt colour. Very similar in looks to the Majohn M600S. Cartridge converter pen. There we go. The nib on here though isn't the nib it came with. It came with a medium nib. That's been swapped out, and this is a Goulet Pens broad nib, a Yoho nib. So we've got here a Jinhao. Just look at the way this writes. 100. And it's a broad nib. The ink in here is by Cult Pens. And it's Little Bob. This is a sheen in ink. Just going to do a little bit of, see if we get any sheen coming through and showing through. As I say, I went slightly wrong with my pricing. I got in the wrong order. So here we're talking, the actual pen is about $28, but because it's got a different nib on, I've added it together. So it comes in about 45 Aussie dollars for the package as it is. So that's a Jinhao 100. See, as they're starting to sheen, hopefully you might be able to start to see that, certainly on the word Jinhao, and coming through in the rest of it. This has got a nice green sheen. I'll try and remember, and we'll come back to look at it as it's had time to dry. Next up, we're going to the USA. This is the Monteverde Ritma. Quite a heavy pen. It's a metallic pen. Real good heft to it. The cap, it's magnetic. You can see that. I'll fetch it up here and hear the click. Nice sound on that. Really like the weight of this pen. It will post. Posts up there. I don't use it posted. I find unposted is fine. Another pen, cartridge converter. Did come with that converter. Nice wide section. The section, it's a bit slippy. It's metallic. And there doesn't seem to be any shape to it. So I do find my fingers do tend to move around a little bit. Doesn't bother me because I understand it. I know it. So I can cater for that. So we've got here a Monteverde Ritma. This has got a broad nib. It's a Yoho nib. The ink, I'm just going to put R and K. It's Rohrer and Klinger. And it's Alt Goldgrün. The price for this pen was 77 Aussie dollars. Nice pen to use. Really enjoy writing with this one. I've had some shimmer inks in here which did give me some issues, but I'm finding if the ink isn't a shimmer ink, it seems to work really well. So that was the Monteverde Ritma. Just dropping in to interrupt your regular programming. Would you like to help support the channel? If so, please consider joining as a member. As a member, you'll get early access to my videos. I normally upload them a couple of days before they go out, and as soon as they're uploaded, they'll be released to members. There'll also be a shout out at the end of the videos, and then as we get the members coming in, we'll actually chat among ourselves and work out what other perks, what other things you'd like me to add in. You know, would you like maybe a monthly live chat just for members? All down to us. So please, if you can, consider joining the channel. A link will be in the description down below. Smallish pen next. So this is getting towards that pocket-sized pen. This is the Pilot Prera. So a Japanese pen. Cartridge converter. All the fittings are plastic. And it looks like the whole body is sealed. So I'm wondering if it would be possible to eyedropper this. I haven't tried it. I may experiment, but to be honest, I struggle getting on with this pen, so it's not something I've really thought about too much. So we've got here a Pilot Prera, which has got a medium nib in it. The ink is by Noodlers, and it's Apache Sunset. I believe this ink has been renamed. I can't remember what it was renamed to. Cost for this pen is 80 Aussie dollars. For a pocket pen, it's not cheap. A steel nibbed pocket pen, not cheap. Just be aware of that. Now let's just quickly look. Has that little bob dried any better? So hopefully you can see we've got loads of green sheen coming through in the writing now. I'm hoping that it's captured on the camera. Problem is I can see it with my eyes, but whether the camera captures it. You can also see above it where I've got that Organic Studio. You can really see the shimmer coming through on there. Right, back to the pens. Next up, we've got a pen made in the UK. This is a Mr. Pen, the Parsons Essential. Nice black pen here. I love this little bit of decoration on it. Cartridge converter pen. Looks like that's a Visconti converter in there. The nib on here, we're starting to get into some speciality nibs. This is a Mr. Pen medium oblique cursive nib. I believe it's recently shut down, so I don't think you can buy these anymore. So let's try writing with this one. So we've got a Mr. Pen. Now, Because this is an unusual nib to me, I'm still getting used to it. I'm just going to call it Parsons Essential. I need to practice more with this nib. I'm trying to write with it more often, but it's just really finding the time to really be able to practice to get the best from it. So it's a medium oblique cursive. The ink in here is by Diamine, another UK company based in Liverpool, and this is Violet. Cost for this pen, you're looking at 90 Aussie dollars. I'm really enjoying using this. It's nice to experiment with different nibs, and that's what's nice with this pen. Next up, we've got a pen from Sheaffer. This is a Sheaffer Prelude. I love the matte tone of this black. I think it looks really nice. And then with this gold trim. Let's take this off. Again, we've got a cartridge converter. This pen, again, got a speciality nib on it. It's got a Mr. Pen nib. And this one is a cursive nib, a medium cursive. Looks quite short, doesn't it? So we've got here a Sheaffer Prelude with a medium cursive. The ink in here is by Robert Oster, and it's Cafe Crema, one of my favourite brown inks. Cost for this pen, 94 Aussie dollars. Again, you can see here as I'm writing, you can see the difference in the line variation. That's all from using that nib. It's another pen like that Parsons Essential. I need to get more practicing with it. Next up, we've got a handmade pen. This is a kit pen. It's made here in Western Australia. I bought it from Fremantle Markets. Just look at this beautiful here. So what the guy did is he went and got various, bits of stone, bits of sand, very, inorganic materials, mixed it up into this resin, and then made this gorgeous finish here. It looks very nice. It is a kit pen, so it does have some shortcomings. Cartridge converter, so there's the converter. Just look how thin this section is. One of the downsides of this pen is the thinness of the section. I find it really difficult to use. It's a nice pen though, a nice balanced pen. Posts really well because it posts by screwing on. But I use my pens unposted, so I don't bother. So I'm going to call this the Fremantle. It's a Fremantle Market. It's got a fine nib. The ink, another Robert Oster. And it's Australis Oak. Love the colouring of this as well. So this is more, it's still a brown, but there's a lot more orange in it. Now, I'm saying it cost $99. That's what I paid. But, as well as the fountain pen, it also came with a ballpoint. So that $99 is for both of them. I was not interested in the slightest with the ballpoint. I gave it away. So as far as I'm concerned, this pen cost me 99 Aussie dollars. So that was the Fremantle Market handmade pen. Up next, from Conklin, we've got a Conklin Durograph. This beautiful, gorgeous finish here. Look at that. I think it's called Forest or Dark Forest. Very nice. I love this. Cartridge converter. So there we've got the converter there. Starting to get a little bit lower on ink. So we've got here a steel nib. There's the Conklin nib for you. Again, I believe made by Yoho for them. So we've got here a Conklin Durograph. This comes with a medium nib. The ink is by Pilot. It's Iroshizuku Shinryoku. Love this combination. I think they look really nice together. So much so that I've refilled this pen with the same ink. Cost wise, talking about 135 Aussie dollars. Nice material. Very similar looking, isn't it, to what we saw with the Jinhao 100 and that Majohn M600S. Going to a different country now. We're going to India for the next pen. This is a Ranga Santa. I'm going to be cleaning this pen out shortly because I want to clean it out, getting ready for December. I'm intending to use this pen during December. I mean, it's called Santa. What else can you do? But really nice. Fountain pen is it? It's obviously a fountain pen. It comes with a converter. Loads and loads of threads on this resin here. So that means if you wanted to, you could eyedropper this. I don't intend to, because I think if I filled this with ink, it would just last and last and last. And that's the beauty of using the converters. When they run out, you can easily change the ink and really change the way the pen feels to you by having that different ink colour. So we've got here a steel nib. This is a Yoho nib. This is a stub nib. So we've got a Ranga Santa. I love the nib on this. It looks really nice. Very expressive. Loads of line variation. The ink in here is by Diamine. And it's Red Dragon. This pen, it was 145 Aussie dollars. I saw it advertised in the middle of December last year. Had to get it. It was purely the name and the way it looks. There were, I think it was 6 different variations. I went for this one. Ranga, you can pick your own nib virtually. They've got such a wide selection. But very nice pen. One of my newer pens. This is an Australian-made pen. This is by Just Turnings. He's based in Brisbane. And this is the Black Copper. And it's actually a pen that he's made himself, or the actual resin himself, he pours himself. So completely made by this one gentleman. Cartridge converter. There we go. Again, I think it would be possible to eyedropper it. Don't intend to. Yoho nib. I went for black nib on this. I thought it suits the black of most of the material. So this is a Just Turnings. The model is called Mimas. This is, as I say, it's his own range. I've got a medium nib on here. And the ink is by Robert Oster. And it's terracotta. Handmade pen. You do pay that. It was $170. I do think it's worth it. The quality of the workmanship, the time that he's got to have put into made this. Very, very nice. So that's the Just Turnings. Just move the page up ever so slightly. So the next pen, we're back to Conklin. This is a Conklin All-American, and this is part of the Courage series. This is the white version. We've got the details, Conklin All-American, and this is a limited edition, so it's a numbered edition. Again, cartridge converter. Very nice, well-seated converter. The nib on here, again, it's a Conklin nib. This one is a broad. Love these black ones. It's like a matte black on here. Goes really well, I think contrasts very well with that white colour. So we've got here a Conklin All-American. Broad nibbed. The ink is by Diatramentis. And it's cherry. You're looking about $194 for one of these pens. Nice pen, nice size. I like the way that it's got that little bit of width to it. I also like the section. I think the section is very comfortable to use. Enjoyable pen. I love this little, we've got this Courage here. I think it looks really good. So that's the Conklin All-American. So first gold nibbed pen of the day. Here we've got the Pilot E95S, or maybe called the Pilot Elite. Pocket-sized pen. To me, it's a little bit on the long side for a pocket pen. It's just done that final, extreme size of it. Posted, this is a gorgeous pen to write with. It posts extremely well. Gold nibbed. We've got a 14 karat inlaid nib. This is a cartridge converter. I actually use a cartridge rather than a converter. I just refill this cartridge whenever I want to change inks. Let's pop it together. It writes beautifully when it's posted. So we've got a Pilot E95S. and it's got a medium. I'm going to put here, it's 14 karat gold. The ink is by Diamine, and it's ancient copper. Gorgeous shading coming through on this, looks really nice. Price wise, you're looking at 195 Aussie dollars. Love this pen though. It's a pen that in the last year it's been inked up, I think all but maybe 2 weeks. Enjoy using this pen. So we're going over to Italy now. Here we've got a Leonardo Ferrari. This is in the white salt. This pen is a captured converter. So you can see there that converter, very long, screwed on in so it's really solidly mounted. If you want to, you can just unscrew the top. That gives you access to the mechanism so you can work it from there. I've got to be honest, I very rarely do that. If I'm going to unscrew it, I might as well unscrew the body part as well, and I can see the whole thing. I love the section on this. Very nice, comfortable section. Here's the nib. This is a Yoho nib with Leonardo branding on it. So we've got here a Leonardo Ferrari. Again, it's got a 1.1 stub in it, and the ink is Diamine Red Dragon. Very smooth nib. I will be honest, I do prefer the line that I get from the Santa, which is also a Yoho 1.1 stub, but I do like the feel of this body. Price wise, you are paying for it. We're now up to 230 Aussie dollars. So again, not a cheap pen. Really like the looks of this though. It's Italian made, it's Italian quality, really nice. So that's the Leonardo Ferrari. 2 more pens to go. Let's just move the page up ever so slightly. So next up from Pilot. This is a Pilot Custom Heritage 92. This is a transparent black colour. Piston filling pen. The piston mechanism takes up about 2/3 of the body. So that's one of the downsides for me. It does limit the amount of ink you can take. It's a bit on the thin side is the pen. The nib, it's rhodium plated, but it is 14 karat gold. Personally, I would have liked to have seen gold, but I think the silver or the rhodium plating does offset with this black body really nicely. It's a little bit on the short side, so I do find I have to use this one posted. The nib, number 5 Pilot nib, and it's a medium. So we've got here a Pilot, Custom, Heritage, 92, quite a mouthful, isn't it? Medium, and it's 14 karat gold. The ink is by Colorverse, and it's Able. This one is definitely Able. Price wise, well, you may want to be sitting down for this. 335 Aussie dollars. Big jump. Yes, it's a gold nib. Yes, it's a Pilot pen. Yes, it's a lot of money for a fountain pen. But it's beautiful to write with. The nib, very soft, very bouncy. It's so nice. I really enjoy writing with this pen. I do tend to have this pen inked with green ink. I don't know why. It's just a combo that shouts to me. And I think with this Colorverse Able, just look at the shading we're seeing. Very nice. So that's the Pilot Custom Heritage 92. Our final pen by Pilot, my most expensive pen, Pilot Custom 823. Just look at that. I love watching the way that the ink sloshes around in there. Vacuum filling pen. Downside with this, pain in the butt to clean, because you've got to just keep on filling it and filling it and filling it. I have seen somewhere you can sort of take it apart, but it's easy to break if you do that. So I've got absolutely no intention of ever doing that because this pen is just so expensive. But it's a beautiful pen. The nib on here, number 15 size nib. And this is 14 karat gold. Gorgeous looking nib. We've got here a Pilot, Custom 823, broad nib. The ink is by Diamine. Tobacco Sunburst. Price-wise, I checked the price the other day. 500 Aussie dollars. Absolutely stunned by that. When I bought it, it was $394, and I was a bit, oh, that seems a lot of money, but eventually went for it. But yeah, $500 if you want to buy one now. Lot of money for a pen. Don't get me wrong, it's a lovely pen. I love using it. It's virtually constantly inked up, and I've found with this Diamine Tobacco Sunburst, I absolutely love it as a combo. You know, we get the shading, we get really nice flow. The nib, not as soft as I see with the Custom Heritage 92. Still nice, just not as soft and bouncy, but it's still an enjoyable pen to use. So that's the Pilot Custom 823. Just pull this down. Can we get all these in the camera? Virtually, there we go. Hopefully they all come through. So these are the pens that I've got inked up at the start of October of 2023. I hope you've enjoyed today's video. What pens have you got inked up? Have you got some that are your favourites that you find you ink up all the time? Are there some that you've just inked up occasionally? Please drop a comment down below. Let's kickstart the conversation. Please hit the thumbs up button. Every time you like, every time you comment, just helps with the YouTube algorithm. If you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel so that you can get new videos as I release them. I'll talk to you again soon.